Brand new production just came out. The Innocence Files is a documentary done by some Academy Award-winning documentarians.
The reason I'm writing is to ask, can you help me?
I am serving a 40 to 60-year sentence. As God is my witness, I am not guilty.
And I'm very glad that people with high skill tackled this subject area.
We get flooded with letters from all over the country. They're human beings who are claiming to be wrongly convicted.
We realized that there were so many things wrong with this system. So we started the Innocence Project.
The material, of course, is extremely compelling.
This case had no DNA, no fingerprints, no gunshot residue.
I became outraged at how thin the evidence was.
This production covers 8 different cases, but there are more than 8 episodes, and that's partly because the very skilled documentarians were able to make choices to allow a sort of fluidity in the way they tell the stories. Sometimes the next episode follows one case to another, or it'll cut in the middle of a case, pick it back up in the other episode, and then another case is introduced in the middle. Sometimes it's because the type of evidence that was used to convict links the next case coming. You're not going to be able to avoid getting angry or emotional sometimes. I think you're also going to have a kind of an internal struggle because so many of us know that it's actually really hard to convict somebody when they are guilty sometimes. And many of us will feel frustrated about the justice system in the opposite way. I think in Trinidad, everybody knows somebody who's been a victim of a crime. And most of us know somebody who's been the victim of a serious crime. But it is still very, very worth it and valid to be watching this kind of thing.
The oath is to seek justice. For some people, justice has meant maximizing charges, years, and convictions.
It's heartbreaking when you just study the numbers that are constantly thrown out at you of the years and years these people spent in jail.
I went to prison at the age of 18, and I didn't see the streets until the age of 46.
When I got out of jail, I took my shoes off and just walked around the yard. 12 years, I haven't touched no grass.
It makes the end of some of the episodes, when a different number is thrown out to you, how much they sued for. Yeah, sometimes that number comes, you're cheering for them at that point. But I don't know if it makes what they went through worth it at all.
If we find that the client is innocent, we don't stop until we win.
I never thought this day would come. But it's coming. He's coming home.
The insights into the justice system and also the way things were at certain times in America, totally fascinating. You've got LA in the 80s, for example, and wow, that was a complicated time and a complicated place. It might have you examining, if you could put yourself in that place in that time, where would you have come down back then? And try to be honest with yourself and try to place yourself there. What would you have thought? Would you have supported this person's bid for another trial, for example,
Unfortunately, the mentality among too many judges, too many district attorneys, is the ends justify the means.
If they're going to ever find the proof that I didn't commit this crime.
They withheld evidence on purpose to get a conviction, period.
This is a extremely worthwhile watch. I planned on watching, just 1 or 2 episodes, but man, this thing hooked me. I am fairly certain it's gonna hook you too.
I wonder, what would have happened if my incarceration wouldn't be part of my story.
I wouldn't do this job if I didn't think it could be fixed.
I wanted him to know there was someone out there that was fighting for him.
I think the best thing that a lawyer can do with their license is get an innocent guy out of prison.